Alright guys, welcome back to the Video Game Losers Show. I, of course, am Dirt, and this is my co-host Gamer. And today we're going to be talking about Chex Quest. Tell us a little bit about Chex Quest. Why are we doing Chex Quest this week?
Originally we were going to do it last week, but Minecraft Dungeons came out, and we were just so enthralled with it that we decided to quickly put together an episode all about Minecraft Dungeons.
Plus, doing Minecraft Dungeons took a lot less prep work, and we didn't have to do as many research videos and stuff like that, because there's actually 2 videos as part of today's package. One, a history of Chex Quest that I put together, and then one from Gamer here, montage of game footage, both single player and multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer. It was great, right?
Tell you what, before we get into talking about the actual game, let's take a look at the history of Chex Quest. What is this game? Where did it come from? Why do people play it? And why is this HD remake something that people even care about? Let's take a look. Chex Quest was a total conversion of Ultimate Doom that was given away in cereal boxes back in 1996. General Mills paid almost $500,000 to developers Digital Cafe, but recouped some of that cost by getting AOL to help subsidize the CDs, because giving away free CDs with AOL software was something AOL loved to do back in those days. The game is set on the planet of Bezoic, whatever, where you, the Chex warrior, take on the slimy Flemoids, who spew their snot-like slime on everyone, which honestly feels a little more like a nod to Duke Nukem, but whatever. Since this is a game for kids, you don't actually kill the Flemoids, you zap them with your Zercher and send them back to their own dimension. At the point when this game was being developed, id Software had already released Quake, so the Doom engine was cheap to license, and all the maps from Ultimate Doom are technically included, though only 5 were made for Chex Quest to replace the first 5 of Doom, and the rest were locked away. Unconverted characters and weapons were ripped out, so their textures are missing, so even if you happen to cheat your way to those other levels, they just don't play very well. Chex Quest was included in 5.7 million boxes of rice, wheat, and corn Chex, and the box offered Chex Quest 2 as a downloadable add-on available from their website. Once the promotion ended, however, the game disappeared, and the planned Chex Quest 3 was abandoned. At least, it appeared that way. Until 2008, when a few of the old Digital Cafe members got together and used the Z-Doom source port to create Chex Quest 3, the one they had always wanted. Any future development beyond that seemed unlikely. Chex Quest 3 had been a labor of love, and any attempt to create a commercially available version of Chex Quest 4, or even a Kickstarter type of funded product, would require the approval of General Mills, and that seemed highly unlikely. Until, once again, things would go right for fans as a new HD remake of Chex Quest was announced in 2016. General Mills was allowing the game to be made for the fans, and this time, Unreal Engine 4 would be used, because Epic Games had released Unreal Engine 4 for free for all users. I mean, they didn't actually announce that was the reason why they were using Unreal Engine 4, but that was the reason they were using Unreal Engine 4. Gamers got their first glimpse of the game in February 2019 with the release of the preview trailer. Before the game could get released, Limited Run Games announced a special line of releases to commemorate the event with a re-release of the original Chex Quest game. First, they offered the Big Box Edition for $40, which included the physical Chex Quest game on a disc for the PC, classic big box format packaging, 2-disc jewel case, which also featured the original game soundtrack, a reversible 18 by 24 inch poster, and a game manual. The soundtrack itself could also be bought separately for $28 on a limited edition green vinyl record. And they also announced the Chex Quest Chex Warrior Edition for $150. And what do you get for $150? A physical Chex Quest PC game, the large premium foil rigid box, a 2-disc jewel case with the physical game and soundtrack CD, a USB drive in the shape of a floppy diskette with the original game and soundtrack, 18 by 24 inch reversible poster, an 8 by 10 concept art lithograph, 2 enamel pens, a piece of Chex keychain, a extra large t-shirt, the intergalactic Chexedalian of Bravery coin, 2 large stickers, a metal Chex Warrior statue, and, probably the coolest thing, a full-size Zorcher replica with activated lights and sound. Now, for substantially less than $150, you can download the Chex Quest HD game for free on Steam. It was released for fans on May 18th, 2020, with a single-player story mode and multiplayer deathmatch. So there you go. That's Chex Quest. And so, yeah. So back in the day, if you wanted to play the game, you couldn't just... 9 times out of 10, you couldn't just download a game if you wanted to play it. You had to go to a store. You had to buy it. There were some shareware demos, but even shareware demos, a lot of times, you would have to order through the mail. And then because they were shareware, you could make copies and give them to your friends, but you really couldn't go online and download them. You had to have a physical disc of some kind to get the game. So the idea that you would just go someplace like Steam or the Epic Game Store or something and be like, oh, I want to try out this game, download this demo, download this demo, download this demo, that did not exist.
Wow. So how did you guys know what games you wanted to play?
You pirated them.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, you still do that.
And then
we don't know.
So anyway, so the HD remake, of course, came out last week.
2 weeks ago, almost.
I guess
it's very recent.
Not too long ago. And I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, it's okay, but it's whatever. Like, what do you think?
like it. Look, Doom is one of those classic games I've always wanted to try, but I don't know how to because I'm always scared I'm going to install a fake one that's a virus. And so this is basically classic Doom I can play, but for free.
Well, you can play classic Doom for free.
Again, you have to pirate it, though.
No. You can. They released the source code, so you can download something like Z-Doom or any of the recompiled from the source code. You can play it for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You didn't know that?
No.
Huh? Okay. Well, we'll talk about that later then. But yeah, we'll see. Doom. Like, I don't know. Doom was one of those. I liked Wolfenstein, and then Doom came along, and I was like, yeah, Doom's pretty cool. I didn't really like it as much as Wolfenstein, and I much preferred Wolfenstein over Doom. And then when Quake came out, I liked Quake a lot. I guess the problem I always had with Doom was 2.5D. So Doom really was, even though it looked like it was three-dimensional, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
So you would have guys who were up high and you would have guys who were down low, but technically they could never cross over each other. Because it was really the same plane, the game would just kind of adjust. It knew whether or not to go up or down. So, I don't know. It had issues, and like I said, it was okay, but I just didn't get into it the way I got into the other games. So I don't look at Doom as fondly as I look at some of the other games. So this being a modification to Doom, just, it's whatever. I think the main way I used to play Doom back in the day was just because I had it on the 32X, on the Sega 32X. So I did play it quite a bit back then, just because it was one of the few games that came out on the 32X. I did have it on PC, but I didn't play a lot of games on the PC back in those days, just because my computer was usually doing other stuff. I used to run a BBS out of my apartment, which, by the way, so... Before the internet was a thing, you had these bulletin board systems.
Wait, hold on. There's a time before the internet.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll put it this way: before commercial internet that everybody could dial into or connect to and use, it existed for like a couple decades as like a government-only thing.
What?
But anyway, So you had these bulletin board systems where people would dial into someone else's computer. You had this one centralized computer. They could leave messages for each other. You could play some games online, but only one person at a time could use it. Then they would log off. Someone else could log in. They could read the messages, reply, play some games, whatever. And so I actually ran a BBS for a while. So my computer was usually running that. So I didn't have a lot of time to do other stuff on the computer. Most of the time, so I was usually playing games on console. So anyway.
Now, I have played a Doom game called Doom, the 2016 version. We got it for PS4 about a week before Doom Eternal came out, because it's like, oh, Doom Eternal looks cool. He has the big sword. Let's try this one, and we found it at GameStop for...
Well, it was the GameStop, one of the GameStops that was going out of business, so it was like 60 or 80% off.
Yeah.
Whatever. So it ended up being like $6 or $4 or something like that. It's something ridiculous. So how does Doom on the PS4 compare to Chex Quest HD?
Well, obviously Doom on the PS4 has better graphics. Crazy, I know.
It's an older game though.
Yeah, except Chex Quest was made on
Unreal Engine 4.
4.
Yeah.
Not the new good one.
Okay, so anyway.
Yeah, it's very fun. I beat it. I played about 3 levels of it, stopped playing for 2 weeks, and went back to it and finished the game in about 3 sittings.
Why'd you stop playing for 2 weeks?
Because I forgot we had it.
Well, that's not a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, well, I had to go sleep. I woke up the next day and forgot it existed. So
I think you also were doing school stuff.
Maybe, but still.
And then we took a trip out of town, I think, and so there were a lot of other stuff. All right, so anyway, and then coronavirus hit, maybe.
Oof.
So all of that stuff.
We had to rip and tear, but whatever.
All right, so Chex Quest HD. You played through the story mode. Have you beaten the whole story mode?
I have done. Furthest I've gotten is 3 levels in, and then I decided, wow, I don't like this level design because you have to go. You go through this area, get the key. Go to this area with the key, get the other key, go to this one, go to this, go back and forth, and it just got very confusing, and I couldn't understand it, so I had to quit halfway through.
Yeah, okay. So you eventually gave up on it.
So I basically have the first and second level memorized. I could probably speedrun it if I tried hard enough.
I see. Yeah, and like I said, it's just not really the game for me. But then we did also play some multiplayer. We have some footage of that. So here's a montage put together by Gamer showing you single player and
multiplayer.
Us doing deathmatch in Chex Quest HD.
I wonder who's good at this game.
Dang it.
This gun is good. They should have Fortnite dances into this, so when I kill you, I can dance on your corpse.
Ah. Yeah, that's what this game needs.
You taking a shower? Not anymore.
I hate this game.
Yeah. You probably do. You hate fun and kittens and dogs and everything good in this world.
You think this game is everything good in this world?
Yeah. Because I'm winning. Oh.
Oh.
It was game over and I was in the middle of jumping. So, guess we're playing again with the same rules. It's not even your birthday. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, how you doing?
Oh, come on, this game is garbage.
No, only you are. Oh, I died. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wow, this game is bad. This game is so bad. This game is stupid.
I hate this game. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. No, okay, so here's the thing. Look, this is what I was playing with, okay? Look, this is the controller I was trying to use to play this game. Because the deal is, when you do multiplayer, you have to do it as remote play. So it's not like I log in to Chex Quest on my computer and he logs in on his computer and somehow it connects. No, it does remote play where it screen shares his version of Chex Quest on my computer, and then you have to have 2 or 4 USB controllers, depending on how many people are playing. The USB controllers have to be plugged into your local machine, and then you play with your controllers because you can't all be using mouse and keyboard. Because in fact, if I grab the mouse and try to move it on mine, it messes up his screen. And
so he did that a bit.
So I tried doing that, but he still beat me. But anyway, so this was the only USB controller I had handy. So this is what I tried playing with. So this is what I blame on my terrible gameplay, is this like Super Nintendo-esque PS4 USB controller. I'm blaming this.
And I was playing with an Xbox 360 controller,
which is obviously much better than what I was trying to play with.
Because the Xbox controllers are the best controllers.
No.
Well, then what is?
DualShock 3. DualShock 3.
No.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
So, I mean, Chex Quest HD, it's free. All you have to do is have a Steam account. So get a Steam account. You can download the game. You can try it for yourself. Again, I don't really care much for it, but there are people who absolutely love it. There are people who love Chex Quest in general. People who paid $150 for that collector's box.
I want the cool shooter.
The Zurcher?
Yes, Zorcher.
Or Zorcher? Is it Zorcher or Zurcher?
Zucchini?
Anyway, Any other notes that you want to add about the game?
If you saw in the clip, I decided I wanted to run into a room full of enemies. Don't do that. You will get hurt and probably killed.
All right, fair enough. Well, wait, no, you don't get killed. You get overrun with slime and you can't move, and you have to restart.
Right, yeah. How do you restart the level if you can't move?
It's a time warp.
Okay, alright, cool.
So, okay, two things of news I want to throw out there. One, the TurboGrafx 16 Mini is now shipping. So those of you who pre-ordered that will find that coming your way soon. It is the biggest Mini that has been released. I've seen several people cover this online. I thought about ordering one, but quite honestly, I have a lot of these Minis. I like playing them, but the TurboGrafx 16 was a system I never had, and even though it was a system I was interested in, it's not one that I'm really that interested in as far as paying like $100 for a mini system. So it's one of those things, maybe if it goes on clearance at some point in the future for $50 or something like that, I might pick one up. But for now, I'm gonna let it slide. But it is huge as far as being a mini system. Most of the mini systems are these tiny things, and it's a lot closer to actual full size. So it's kind of awkward.
So it's not a mini.
It is. Well,
it's a half. It's a medium.
It's smaller than the regular one, so it's mini compared to the normal TurboGrafx 16, but compared to all the other mini systems, it's much bigger.
So it's like a medium?
Well, the thing is, the PC Engine console that it's based on from Japan, the PC Engine console was a much smaller design. And so the mini version of the PC Engine console is small. But when they brought it to the US as the TurboGrafx, the console design changed. And so it was a bigger machine, and so they kept the PC Engine part of it the same size as the original PC Engine Mini, so they expanded the size of it, and once they expanded the size, it just made it huge, as opposed to shrinking the whole thing back down again. So, alright, so anyway, that is out there, but also they announced the Game Gear Mini from Sega, and this thing, here's the problem with this thing. They're releasing 4 versions of it in 4 different colors. Each one will cost $50, or you can buy all 4 of them for $200.
Ooh!
If you order the 4-pack of all 4, it comes with the attachment that you put on top of the screen, which like magnifies the screen, makes it look a little bigger, that came on the original Game Gear, that you can put on the Mini. It's a very small console. Here's the problem. Each one of these $50 handheld mini consoles has 4 games on it. So you can buy, if you want to play Sonic 3, then you can buy the Game Gear Blue and get Sonic 3, but it only has 4 total games on it.
Are they different games?
Yeah, they're different games on each console.
Oh.
So if you want to play Sonic, I think it's Sonic 1 is on, or there's Sonic the whatever the Sonic handheld version was, I forget what they called it. I think it's just called Sonic, but it was the Game Gear version of Sonic. That is on one version, and then the version of Sonic 3 is on a different one. So if you want to play the 2 Sonics, you have to pay $100 to buy 2 different consoles to play the 2 different Sonics that came out on Game Gear. They're on 2 different ones.
Sonic 3 is on Steam. It does cost money though. However, it's much cheaper than $50.
But the Game Gear version was different.
I know, but this is.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Right. So, and now right now it's Japan only. The games, some of the games that are being released are RPGs, so it's a lot of Japanese text. So obviously, unless you know Japanese, it's going to be very difficult to play some of these things. So keep that in mind if you're looking at importing these. They look cool. They certainly look nifty the way they've been designed, but that is a steep price to pay for a little machine that only plays a few games from a system that honestly just didn't sell very well in the first place.
And now these won't sell either very well either. History is doomed to repeat, everybody.
All right, let's talk about some comments from our last episode. First from That Checks Out left a comment saying...
That Chex Quest out.
No, it's just called That Checks Out. Says, you should go easy on your cousin Ted. He seems like a great guy. That doesn't check out. I'm going to say there's something fishy with this account leaving comments. I don't know what That Checks Out on YouTube is, but I bet it's some sort of virus spam bot, so don't check out that channel. If you go to the channel called That Checks Out, you're probably going to get infected, everybody. I would say stay away from there.
And we're going to block them, and...
We'll block him too. All right, now Scott Neely, I gave Scott Neely a hard time because he watches the video, and as he sees something, he leaves a comment, so he ends up leaving like 200 comments on everything. I gave him a hard time on it, and so he only left one on the last video. He said, yes, I know I leave lots of comments when I like something. I know, just giving you a hard time. But he said, the Odyssey 2 was a gift from Santa. I was too young to know or care. I liked it. I played hours of Monkey Shines. Okay.
I don't know what game that is, but it sounds cool.
I remember the movie Monkey Shines. It was based off the Stephen King book, and it was directed by George Romero. I'm pretty sure that this game is not connected, but maybe? I don't know. I'm going to have to look into what Monkey Shines on that was. iMagic had the best games on Intellivision and Atari. Demon Attack is where you kill demons. It's a clone of Phoenix, the arcade machine. And it wasn't Phoenix a clone of Galaga?
I thought Phoenix was the girl from the X-Men.
No, that's Kitty Pryde. Let's see. He said, wait, Gamer's your son?
No!
Wow, he's grown up!
No, I haven't.
Back when we did stuff like That New Toy Smell and whatever, I actually used one of your pieces of artwork on the news desk, which I recently reposted. If you go back and look, there's one that's a compilation of 4 news desks. It's a piece of your artwork. You were like 5 or 6, and you drew a candy tree using stickers for the candy. So that exists on the internet.
Why?
For people to see. Okay. Let's see. Demon Attack. We discussed briefly Demon Attack, and he said both the Atari version and the Intellivision versions were amazing and actually different. So that's one of those games. That's something that's interesting we might look into in the future, because there are some games released on different consoles that were technically different games. They have the same name, they would come from the same company, but on the consoles they would play very differently and be different games under the same name. And that might be something interesting to check out in the future. Although that, again, requires a lot of research, so that's not something we're just going to jump into next week. That's something that we would plan out, in advance and start.
2 weeks from now!
Alright, so, I think that's about going to do it for today. Don't forget, if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can call our 24-hour voicemail line, area code 217-953-4025. You can email me, dirt@popculturenetwork.com or dirt@thepopc.net. You can follow Gamer on Twitter at @forthegamers, with 4 spelled out as you see it on the screen. Don't forget, you can join the official Pop Culture Network group on Facebook by following the tiny URL that you see on the screen. And if you follow our sister show, That New Toy Smell, you know that right now on That New Toy Smell, we are conducting a poll for the most popular Masters of the Universe figures of all time from all lines. And you can find that poll in the group on Facebook. So make sure, if you want your voice to be heard, you jump into that group and fill out that poll.
Question.
What?
Well, is the terrorist figure in there? Last Attack.
Technically, you are allowed to vote for him, but I have not added him to the poll. You can add your own votes to the poll, but please, I put a note at the top that says if you're going to add an option, add a photo. So go to Google, type in the figure you're looking for, find a photo from somewhere, download it, then go to the poll, click on add option, click the little photo thing, put the photo there, type in the name of it, and then vote for it. a lot of people don't understand how that works, apparently. And once you add the option, you can't go back and add the photo. So add the photo when you're adding the option, and then that way people know exactly what figure you're talking about, because Super 7 released a line of figures called Vintage Whoever, but the original line of figures are called Vintage, and they're different. So you have the original figures that are vintage, and then Super 7's line of vintage actually look like the animated versions of the characters. So they're two different versions of the figures. So please, please post photos when you're adding those to the poll. And when you're hearing the dog go run up the stairs with this clicky collar on. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.